Today, we're going to talk about how to read a newspaper. Say, you know how to read a newspaper, right? This is in Romanian, so to read that, it makes sense to know a little bit of Romanian. Now, like English, it goes left to right. That's your first lesson in Romanian, you know? It's not right to left. That would be Japanese, Hebrew, Arabic. Is Chinese left to right or right to left? I don't know every language. But like French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, most West European languages and most East European languages, it goes left to right. And most Central European languages, I think they all go left to right in Europe. I don't know. I guess the further you go, because Asia, you go from right to left. Everyone goes left to right until you get somewhere in the middle somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, you know what the thing about newspapers? Abraham Lincoln supposedly read the newspaper every morning, not in Romanian, in English. You know how I know this? I saw it in a blog, so it could be made up. He also had an egg for breakfast, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe not. And Thomas Jefferson, there were newspapers back then too, and he said that the only true thing in newspapers is the advertising. I think I might have even seen that in a newspaper. Maybe it was a blog. Maybe it was like one of those online newspapers halfway between. But you know what? I've never seen anything in a newspaper about President reading a blog. Biden, if you're watching this, do you read my blog? Okay. Now, we start off, read the headlines. Well, this is the name of the newspaper, Adevărul Weekend. Adevărul means the truth. You know, not saying where the lies, where the truth. So, sorry, Thomas Jefferson, this newspaper claims you're wrong. Or maybe they're just acknowledging that they have advertisements. Cine ține piept Kremlinului. Don't read out loud unless you actually know what it's saying. That's tip number 1. Okay, so there's, Putin, and there's this other guy. You know the story if you've read the newspaper. And then you can read and find some more details. Here's about the war in Ukraine. And there's some 2 years, the invasion of Russia, what's happened. There's the highlights here. It's very interesting. First pages about the 2 years summary against Transnistria. That's this little bit of Moldova, which has the Russians have taken, well, its breakaway area, supposedly. And it explains a little bit about Putin's things and what, his excuses and all that type of stuff. So it's pretty good today. I mean, sometimes I wouldn't really want to read it because it's just translations from what The Guardian is, and it's like you're trying to understand another language, just a translation of English, and you can just see the original online for free, and just they took it. And this is like actually in depth. They did some original research, so I'm glad I got this today. Now here it says that Romanians don't know their neighbors very well. This one is actually a pretty interesting article. So I saw that, and it's like, yeah, I don't really know my neighbors very well. I can read this about this and see what other people say, and if they say the same thing as me, I might not actually learn anything, but it can be kind of interesting. Think, oh, is that why? And then there's some other things, like here. This is useful. If you get an inheritance, you don't declare it, you could end up with tax bills. And it's gone up this year. Last year, it was 16%. After 1st of July in 2024, so this year, it's going to go up to 70%, some tax for undeclared income. Right? Yikes. 70%, this is a gift to accountants, because if you don't declare your income, everyone's going to say, okay, accountant, well, I don't want 70% of this gift for my friends. Don't want to lose it. So if you got the money already, you're lucky. If you didn't declare it properly, it's 14%. If you get it later, 70%. A lot of people are going to move out of Romania, go down to France or something, for lower taxes, right? Um, and there's some other things. So something happened to Vlad Pascu, something on 2nd of May. And you're going to be able to read some articles here that maybe you don't know what it is, but maybe that would make it interesting. Who is this Vlad Pascu? Let's find out. And then one of the things I like about Adevoro is they have, I like and sometimes don't like, they have some historical figures. Sometimes it's an American, like Martin Luther King, or they had a few other authors. I forgot who was one of those big writers. I don't know why I can't remember the name. They all kind of like, but here it's Otilia Kazmir, which is a poet from Romania. So you get a little bit of information there as well, some historical information you might not have known a little bit. Usually it's about somebody who's well known within their own country or even globally. Some advertisements for a book that you can get with the newspaper. Then there's a historian called Cosmin Popa, and he's talking a bit about what's happening in the world with Putin and all that. And he's got this opinion. It's kind of interesting. I haven't really read that properly yet, but you can say, "Ooh, it says a little bit on the cover that there's going to be something about Vladimir Popa." So sometimes you can read the cover. Some newspapers have a very good cover, which is a little summary of a lot of the main stories and say which page it is. They don't do that as much as they used to in the old days. But some of the big stories, at least, will be set. They'll have a little summary on the cover. And this is 3 pages, and he's got a lot to say there. That could be a full blog, just if you're looking for something to blog about, summarize him. And then there's a lot of other stuff here. What's this here? Oh, it's something about polar bears. Cute moments of polar bears in the... yeah. And that's not it. That's about halfway. But I'm going to stop there because there's a lot of statistics here about things. The end in the sport pages. You've got some Sudoku. Here's a tip. This is what actually I'm going to end with. When you get to Sudoku, just cross it all out. If you Sudoku crosswords, you might have somebody in the house who wastes a lot of time with that. Just fill in the wrong numbers. Drive them nuts. Put where it says, 7777777, and they complain that you put 777s, it's being too religious, you put 666 next time. No. 555111222 999. And they're like, is it an emergency? Why are you putting 9? You're only supposed to put 1. You know the rules of Sudoku. That's why you're messing it up, so they can't waste their time with it. Okay. For crosswords, put the wrong words. Just whatever word comes to your head, do really quick. And if you have an addiction, that's a nice way to get rid of it. Just copy an article into it, Anyway, that's how you read a newspaper. There's another newspaper here from Cluj, and it has Emil Bach in it. He's the mayor. He's in almost every newspaper in Cluj. That's how you know the newspaper's in Cluj, because he's almost never anywhere else. He's in Brussels at the moment, but Emil Bach's in Brussels. Congratulations, Emil Bach. Okay, everybody, give a thumbs up to Emil Bach. Say in the comments if you know of any president that reads blogs and a newspaper that tells you that the president reads blogs. Okay, bye.